In this lesson, we are going to cover the different types of cloud migrations. Now, cloud migrations are an increasingly popular way for organizations to modernize their IT infrastructure and take advantage of the benefits that the cloud can provide to them. There are several different types of cloud migrations, each with its own advantages and disadvantages, depending on the specific goals and needs of the organization. There are 8 different types of cloud migrations: rehost, replatform, refactor, repurchase, retire, retain, hybrid, and phase migrations. Let's take a look at each of these. First, we have rehost, which is also referred to as lift and shift. Rehost is the simplest and quickest type of cloud migration because it involves moving an existing application from an on-premise or other cloud environment to a new cloud environment without making any changes to the application's code or architecture. If you want to move an application to the cloud using rehost or a lift and shift approach, you need to first ensure that the application is cloud ready and won't require any modifications. There are several advantages to rehosting migration, including the fact that it's quick and simple, has minimal downtime, and that it is cost effective to utilize. Now, rehosting is the quickest and simplest type of cloud migration, making it an ideal option for organizations that want to get the applications up and running in the cloud as quickly as possible. Rehosting also involves minimal downtime, making it ideal for organizations that need to minimize disruptions to their operations. This type of lift and shift migration is a cost-effective option for organizations that want to take advantage of the benefits of the cloud without investing in significant modifications to their existing applications. There are a few disadvantages to conducting a rehosting migration, though. Rehosting provides limited benefits compared to other types of cloud migration because it doesn't involve changing any of the application's code or architecture. Also, rehosting can result in an inflexible infrastructure that is not optimized for the cloud, since we're just moving our applications from our on-premise solutions to a cloud-based infrastructure instead. Second, we have replatform. Replatforming is also known as lift, tinker, and shift, or re-architecture migration, involving making changes to the architecture of an existing application to optimize it for the cloud. This type of migration involves significant modifications to the application's code, but it can result in significant performance improvements and cost savings. There are several advantages to replatform migration, including improved performance, cost savings, and improved flexibility. Replatforming can result in significant performance improvements for the application, making it an ideal option for organizations that want to take full advantage of the benefits of the cloud. Replatforming can also result in cost savings for the organization, as it can optimize the application's use of cloud resources and reduce unnecessary expenses. Also, replatforming can result in an infrastructure that is more flexible and better suited to the cloud, making it easier for the organization to scale its applications as needed. Unfortunately, there are some downsides to using replatforming. Replatforming can be time-consuming and require significant expertise to execute successfully. Replatforming also can be a high-cost option for organizations because it requires significant modifications to the application's code and architecture. Third, we have refactoring. Refactoring is also known as rip and replace. It involves breaking down an existing application into smaller, more manageable components known as microservices. This type of migration can result in improved performance, scalability, and cost savings. Refactoring can result in improved performance as it enables organizations to distribute the workload of the application across multiple smaller components. Refactoring also makes it easier for organizations to scale their applications as needed, as they can add or remove microservices as required. Refactoring can also result in cost savings since it enables organizations to take advantage of the pay-as-you-go model used by many cloud-based infrastructure providers. There are also some disadvantages of using refactoring. Refactoring can be complex and requires significant expertise to execute successfully. Refactoring is also time-consuming because it involves breaking down an existing application into smaller components. Fourth, we have repurchase. Repurchase is also known as drop and shop. It involves replacing the existing application with a commercially available software as a service solution. This type of migration can be a quick and cost-effective option for organizations that want to take advantage of the benefits of the cloud without investing in significant modifications to their existing applications. There are several advantages to a repurchasing migration, including its quickness, simplicity, cost-effectiveness, and improved security. Repurchasing is a quick and simple type of cloud migration that makes it an ideal option for organizations that want to get their applications up and running in the cloud as quickly as possible. Since you are simply buying a software as a service product, there isn't too much work required by the organization to build or configure this type of solution. Also, repurchasing can be a cost-effective option for organizations that want to take advantage of benefits of the cloud without investing in significant modifications to their existing applications or trying to build a new application all by themselves. Repurchasing can also result in improved security, as SaaS solutions are typically managed and maintained by service providers, which help to reduce the organization's burden of securing the application. Again, just like all of the other solutions, there are a few disadvantages to using repurchasing. Repurchasing can result in limited customization options, as the organization is limited to the functionality provided by the SaaS solution. Repurchasing can also result in dependence on the vendor for maintenance and support, which can be a disadvantage for organizations that prefer to have control over their own applications. Fifth, we have retire. Retiring involves discontinuing an existing application and replacing it with a different solution, or simply discontinuing the use of the old product and not replacing it with a new one. This type of migration can be a good option for organizations that have outdated or unsupported applications that are no longer necessary. Retiring can result in improved security, as it eliminates the risk posed by outdated or unsupported applications. Retiring can also result in cost savings, as organizations can eliminate the cost associated with maintaining and supporting outdated or unsupported applications. There are a few disadvantages of using retirement as your migration strategy. Retiring can result in data loss because it requires organizations to discontinue an existing application and replace it with a different solution. Also, retiring can result in disruption in your business operations because it requires organizations to discontinue an existing application and replace it with a different solution, or simply discontinue the use of a legacy program and not replace it with anything else. Sixth, we have retain. Retain involves keeping an existing application as is without making any changes to it. Essentially, with retain, you have made the decision to keep your old legacy application and continue using it within your traditional on-premise environment. This type of migration can only be a good option for organizations that have applications that are still performing well and do not require significant modifications. There are several advantages to the retain migration because it includes no modifications being required and no disruption of your current operations. Because retaining requires no modifications to the existing applications, it is a quick and simple type of migration. Also, since retaining does not result in any disruption because the existing application is not modified in any way, it can continue to be utilized by the organization's employees without affecting their existing workflow or processes. There are a couple of disadvantages to using retain. Retaining does not provide us with any cost savings because the existing application is not modified in any way and will continue to operate in the on-premise environment. This means we cannot achieve any cloud-based performance, security, or cost improvements since our legacy application will remain in use and we will have to continue to support it in our on-premise environment. Seventh, we have hybrid migration. Hybrid migration involves using a combination of different migration types to move an organization's applications and data to the cloud. This type of migration can be a good option for organizations that have a mix of applications and data that require different migration strategies. There are several advantages to a hybrid migration, including your ability to achieve a customized solution and cost saving. Hybrid migrations provide a customized solution because they enable organizations to use different migration strategies for different applications and data. These hybrid migrations can also result in cost savings since they enable organizations to take advantages of the benefits of the cloud for each application and data set. Unfortunately, just like them all, there's a few disadvantages. Hybrid migrations can become very complex because it requires organizations to manage multiple migration strategies at the same time. With that being said, it also can be time consuming because they're trying to do this simultaneously. Our eighth and final type of migration is known as phase migration. Phase migration involves moving applications and data to the cloud in stages rather than all at once. This type of migration can be a good option for organizations that have a large number of applications and data, or they want to minimize the risk associated with migration. Phase migrations minimize the risk associated with migration because your organization can move applications and data to the cloud in stages rather than all at once. Also, phase migrations allow for improved planning since your organization can plan and test each stage of the migration before moving on to the next stage. As we've seen before, some of the disadvantages of the phase migration is time consumption. Now, this occurs because organizations need to plan and test each stage of the migration before moving on to the next stage. As we can see, this will incur a lot of costs in the form of manpower and sometimes opportunity costs because that manpower can be used elsewhere. So remember that cloud migration can take many forms depending on the specific goals and needs of the organization. Each migration type has its own sets of advantages and disadvantages. And again, organizations need to make sure that they're being careful when they consider these options before embarking on a migration project. The 8 types of cloud migrations are rehosting, replatforming, refactoring, repurchasing, retiring, retaining, hybrid, and phase migrations. Organizations need to consider each one and determine which migration will work best for their specific business requirements and use cases.